Can you trust reviews from beat makers and producers that's pushing new music equipment? I don't know. I think for the most part you can, but I've been thinking about this lately, mostly because in my YouTube feed, I've been seeing this new compressor by Warm Audio, the WA1B, and it's an emulation of a popular Tube Tech compressor. And don't get me wrong, when I saw it, I'm like, whoo, that mug looks nice. And the guy's video made me like, ooh, I think I need it. But I think the little problem in the back of my head was the title said Best Vocal Chain for 2023. Now I get it. You need people to click on your things to watch it here in these YouTube streets. But it's like, once I started watching the video and then found out he was eventually selling this product on his own website, basically being a distributor for Warm Audio and their other products, then I'm like, can I actually really trust this? Now, in some cases, you actually can, because if we talk about, let's say, Native Instruments, I really love their plugins, so I won't speak good of them. But if you ask me about the majority of things in the Native Instruments suites and what I use, I don't use a lot. So for the price you pay and what you get, yes, you get a lot, but would I advise new people to get it? Maybe only if you got the money, go ahead and buy the whole Native Instruments suite. But back to the Warm Audio situation. So I'm watching other videos about this compressor, and I also start thinking, me personally, I don't even know what the original compressor sounds like that they're emulating. And how many of people like that watching this video now, you look at a new piece of gear, let's say it's analog, right? Because that seems a big push to go back to analog stuff because of all the subscription models. Analog, you can hold it, you have it, you own it. Do you even know what the originals sound like in a professionally treated room? Do you know what the original hardware does to music? When I see a title that says Best Vocal Chain and they forget to mention the most important thing in that vocal chain, which is the vocalist, now I have a problem. See, no matter what, any type of gear is not going to make you necessarily a better producer, right? No one talks about the vocal chain and the actual vocal. Me, I'm part of the chain. The person singing is actually part of the chain. I get it. We're only thinking about the gear, but somebody's voice might be terrible with whatever vocal chain you're suggesting is the best. Even with a mic, you can have $100,000 mic, but if your voice, because your voice is an instrument, doesn't sound good with the tone of that microphone and the wave files going through it, then it's not going to sound good no matter what. And you could probably get a good sound out of a low budget microphone as well. I mean, in these days, the game has changed of quality. Yes, you have low quality stuff and you have high quality stuff, but the gap is closing. I've been thinking about this because I've been in the music game for a while, and I know newer people, they would just start salivating at all this new gear, right? Because especially if you're not making good music and you're comparing it to people on YouTube and social media, you like, oh, what's going to give me that leg up? What's going to give me that edge? Now, a piece of equipment may give you an edge, but not necessarily. And I have a couple of caveats of why you may want to get something new. Number one, you identify it as a want and not a need. Right? There's a big difference. There's some stuff that I have with my music studio and my video production stuff that I didn't need it, but I wanted it. I saved up my money for my job and I bought it, right? Years ago, I bought this rack mount audio interface. It had 8 inputs, 8 outputs. Now, I don't record bands. I only make instrumental music. And I only have one microphone. Did I need all that? No, I didn't. But I wanted it because at the time it had FireWire on it and I can rack mount it in my desk. Right? At the time, FireWire was one of the fastest cable connections before they came out with USB 3 and Thunderbolt. And I just wanted this. I saved up all my money, got it. And then maybe 5 years later, I upgrade to a new computer, no firmware. This thing does not work anymore. And I can't even use it because the Firewire cable, I have no connections on my ports. So I had to upgrade anyway, and I got something smaller that fit what I actually needed. But if you want something and you saved up for it, get the equipment. The other caveat is when you want to get something new, if the product actually improves or speeds up your workflow. Now, this is important because sometimes things can take a lot of time. And if you're in the creative spirit, you want to be able to get your ideas out fast. And if there's a product that can actually make you go 10 to 20% faster, then I say, get it. It's just the problem with these reviews, trying to trust them. I want you to have a critical eye of listen to what people ain't saying, right? That's the most important part. What aren't these people saying? If I take, for example, this Warm Audio compressor, okay, let's just give you the benefit of doubt. And this is the best vocal chain, but they didn't mention the preamp. They probably mentioned the microphone, but what kind of preamp is it going into? That makes a big difference too, right? What kind of performer? Like I said before, the first part in the vocal chain, the actual vocal, the actual tone. Who is performing? Do you got Michael Jackson or do you got me, someone who can't sing? Who do you have tracking this music to get a good performance out of the vocal? See, all that to me is a part of the vocal chain and the whole recording process. And it's tough because I know I made a video, I'm gonna get on myself, about when Logic was dropping the new app on the iPad. And I made a video and I got a lot of views, and I actually was surprised I got a lot of views. They just came out of nowhere. But at the time I was just giving information like, here's the new Logic Pro app that you can use for iPad on the go. And then when it actually came out, I wasn't even able to use the product because my iPad was too old. Am I wrong for letting people know about this product? It's hard to say. So even though I'm not directly advertising, Apple didn't pay me to talk about it, but it's an unfortunate thing making content. You just kind of just gotta say things, right? Some new news comes out about music. I'm a music channel. I guess I gotta talk about it because there's only a limited amount of topics you can talk about. Like even me talking about sync licensing. I know I haven't made every video I want to make on sync licensing, but once I make them, probably like I can make about 10 more videos and give you everything you need. There's really not much I can say anymore. It's a really kind of cut and dry process. So we're just grasping at straws, and that's not just for the music community. Everybody does this on YouTube. You don't have anything else to talk about, so you have to just talk about things to keep going and keep being that cog in the machine. That's all I got for you. I know this is not a typical video, but I've been thinking about doing more, just getting thoughts out of my head, man. I have a lot of thoughts about the music engineering stuff and just thinking about the future of this channel. I don't want it to become only sync licensing. If you like this style, let me know in the comments. Let me know anything else you want to hear from this channel. Take it easy. Peace.